All right, I call the Kitty Hawk Town Council to order this Monday, June the 1st, 2020 at Kitty Hawk Town Hall. It is now 6 p.m. We are being YouTube video live. We are on the phone. I'm listening to somebody on the phone. And we have all council members present in the hall. We have at least one member of the public and other staff members present and distanced. Thank you. All right. Would you join us all for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do you hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve, Mr. Mayor.
Does that have a second?
Second.
All right, you have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, it's approved. Next, we have introductions. We have a police officer, a new one. I don't know if we're going to, is the new fire captain going to be here?
I think both of them are still at the fire.
Yeah, they had a fire, so we probably won't have him. Okay,
Sorry.
all right. There was a fire over on 12, down by Starfish, somewhere in that area.
It was a 4118 north, let me see, actually, it's 4118 North Croatan Highway, that's what they call it, but I think it's maybe towards the middle there. I'm not really sure this is the correct address. Somebody called in that was.
No, I actually saw it. It's west side of 12.
Yes, sir.
And, all right, did you want to introduce somebody?
Yes, sorry.
He's not here?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we don't have Mr. Hubbs, new police officer, and we don't have a new fire captain, Brad Antons, if I pronounced that correctly. All right, moving on. Public comment. Is there anyone in?
Mr. Bassett.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bassett, please come up.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Council members, Mr. Stewart. I'm Curtis Basket, live at 3605 Rabbit Hollow. Happy occasion for me tonight. Been working with the council for a number of years trying to get a fix for the flooding problem we've had back in the area for a number of residents, commercial establishments. I'm so happy we've got something on the agenda tonight that hopefully is going to provide somewhat of a relief for the persistent flooding we've had back there. Again, I really thank the council and the staff for working with us for such a long time. And hopefully this is what we pass tonight. I have, however, one additional request. If this is passed, we've already had a lot of rain. Hurricane season is amongst us. They're calling for an unusually high hurricane season. If any way possible, if this is approved, get the work done as soon as possible. Hopefully it will help us this year if something does happen. So, but again, thank you for your help in making this thing happen.
Okay, in answer to your question about ASAP, that's our intent. And even though we held off on capital purchases until later in the year, we did buy another pump. I don't know if that's here yet or not, but it's certainly been purchased. And that'll give us 2 pumps, and putting that line in is also high on the agenda and will be paid for once we approve our budget. So we're going to try to get that done. It won't be a fix-all. It'll give you, we hope, it'll give you the same advantage everyone else gets in town as in regards to flooding.
Understand. We appreciate it. Understand the situation.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Good enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on the phone, is there anyone that wants to speak at the public hearing, this public hearing? All right, I'm not hearing anything. Let the record show I didn't get any feedback. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. That was what it took, right there. It's in the consent agenda. All right. Okay, we had no items removed from the consent agenda, so it's time to go into public hearing regarding our budget. So I motion to go into public hearing. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're now in public hearing. Andy, you want to start us on this?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the Town Council. Tonight, we're in the public hearing for the fiscal year 2021 budget ordinance and budget documents. On May 11th, 2020, the Town Council met to review and discuss the 2021 budget. The proposed budget includes a tax rate of 30 cents per $100 valuation, which represents the revenue-neutral tax rate calculated by the new property reevaluations that were conducted by Dare County in 2020. The reevaluations, I believe by law, have to be done once every 8 years. So the county has completed those reevaluations, and so the new tax rate is based off of those new evaluations, and the tax rate was calculated at a revenue-neutral tax rate. As you recall, our current tax rate is 34 cents per $100 valuation. The reasoning that it went down to 30 cents is that is the same tax rate that will produce the same amount of revenues as we currently receive for this year. So while it looks like a tax reduction, it's a revenue-neutral tax calculation. The properties located within the Beach Nourishment District, they pay an additional 10 cents per $100 valuation. And the budget that you have presented before you this evening is balanced with revenues and expenditures of $9,344,401. The proposed budget includes allocations for expenditures and estimates of revenue in each of the town's general fund and capital reserve funds, and the 5-year capital improvements plan. This year, the budget continues to place an emphasis on fiscal management and operation decision-making in accordance with the goals and objectives established by the citizens, town, and the staff. As you know, we're going into this budget cycle with a lot of uncertainty in regards to the COVID-19 pandemic. We have reduced greatly the revenues for occupancy tax revenues that we receive, and then also local option sales tax, and we kind of did that as to give ourselves a buffer in case there happens to be some sort of second wave of infections that would maybe cause the disruption to our tourism season, which we hope does not. So we budgeted for those revenues at a 50% level. We do plan to bring the budget back to the council in September once we see how our summer season has gone. So this budget here is a bare bones budget. We don't have any additional benefits for our employees in this budget. We felt that was appropriate given the circumstances that we all face around the nation. It utilizes $744,000 of unrestricted fund balance. The town over the past 5 years, from what I can speak, has done a great job at positioning the town to combat these types of emergency situations to where you're just not sure whatever, that you'll have the revenues to cover it. So we're going to utilize about $744,000 of the town's unrestricted fund balance to balance this budget. The town is in a position, as I said, the town continues to maintain the $3.5 million emergency reserve. So these funds that we're utilizing to balance the budget are funds that we've saved up over the past 5 years. So I believe the balance is about $2.5 million, so we'll use about a third of that. If things go as this budget says so, we'll use about a third to balance the budget. The budget also postpones the 5-year capital improvements program. As the mayor just mentioned, we've kind of cut everything out of the capital, police cars, things that we might have to get an additional year on with the existing inventory and some of our equipment. We just pushed that out of the budget, and we'll move that back until next year's budget. We may revisit that in September depending on how we do financially until that point. The budget was drafted in accordance with the Government Financiers Officers Association, North Carolina General Statutes. All recommended changes discussed by the Town Council at the budget work session have been included in the final budget, is on file at Town Clerk's office. And then I guess we're going to recess this meeting to June 8th to actually vote on the budget ordinance itself. So in summary, there is not a whole lot that is in this budget as far as extras. The town staff has done a great job of staying within the budget over the past several years, and so that's allowed us to not have a financial crisis on our hands as I stand before you. And the council, as I said, has done an excellent job at maintaining the existing tax rate and also building up a good cushion for situations that we face like we have faced today. So with that being said, I'll stand for any questions. The budget doesn't have any new employees requests. It's maintaining our existing workforce, and we feel confident with this budget that we'll be able to continue to provide quality services to our residents. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, council, anybody got a question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, I usually do, so here we go. Did I hear you mention the MSD part of this?
Correct.
The MSD, of course, is going to have the same basic revenue coming in as it did last year.
That is correct.
All right. And the other thing, when we revisit this in, say, October, if we have as robust a season as it certainly is looking like it might be, and we don't have any setbacks, I want to look at the step plan. So make sure you bring that to us, everything going the way it should be going. All right. If there are no further questions, then this is a little bit unusual for those that may not understand, because we're doing some telephone part of the hearing, and we don't have a full audience available to ask us questions or give us input. We're going to, under the new law, because of the remote type of meetings that we have, we're going to delay it 24 hours before we actually adopt the budget. In case somebody wants to text us, email us, call us, fuss at us, whatever they want to do. You've got actually longer, because I motion to present the budget at the June 8th, 2020 recess council meeting for final adoption. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All right. Any objections? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. So folks, if you want to say something, yes.
Would you like to ask on the telephone now if there's anybody that has a comment?
I can do that. Is there any comment from anyone that's listening on the telephone? All right, I'm not getting anything. Let the record show there was nothing. But we're still going to hold until the 8th, just to make sure we're within the new law. Hopefully we'll get back to normal and not have to do any of that. All right, so under new business, we have appointments to the Planning Board and Recreation Committee. So the first thing that's up is Planning Board. The people that are there now want to continue. There's only one person that's a volunteer that's fairly new into our list of possibles. And so we probably want to reappoint the existing people, and as soon as we have an alternate available, we'll consider this new person, all right? Do I hear somebody make a motion on reappointing or appointing a nomination here for the Planning Board?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to reappoint Brian Parker and Dusty Rhodes as a regular member of the Planning Board with a term of office to expire June 30th, 2022.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, does that have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. All right, next we have an alternate on the Planning Board.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to reappoint Gary Muir as an alternate on the Planning Board with a term of office to expire June 30th, 2022.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, does that have a second? All right. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. All right, next we need a chair and a vice chair. Do I hear a motion here or a nomination on that?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion for reappointment of John Richardson as the chairman and Brian Parker as the vice chairman of the planning board for a one-year term.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, does that have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Again, there are none. Now, the Recreation Committee is a little bit different, so let me explain something to you. There are three terms expiring in June. Christine Butner, Linda Barnhart, and Rita Phillips have all said they'd like to be appointed, or reappointed in this case. They've been on that for quite a while. They've done a good job. They've brought the master plan up to date. Everything's working around. But I had another person that was on the volunteer list ask me for something to do. This person is on the Board of Adjustment. The Board of Adjustment hasn't met in years because thankfully we haven't had any reason to. So she asked me, and I went to check in some of the volunteers, and I realized that she had asked about the Recreation Committee. So her name is Charlotte Walker. She is owner-operator of Charlie's Court. I also looked at another one, Keith Tabb. We probably all know him as a freelance writer. He writes a lot for the North Beach Sun and some other things. And Timothy Fish, who also said he would like to do something like this. They would be new faces, and they have been on the list waiting for a little while. So I'm going to make a nomination to appoint Charlotte Walker, Keith Tabb, and Timothy Fish to the Recreation Committee with a term of office to expire June 30, 2024. Do I hear any other nominations? Hearing none, does that have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any further conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. All right. And there's nothing else that we need to deal with that. So the next thing is retiree spouse health benefit. And it's a tendency to allow retirees to be a part of the town health benefit. Do you want to address that just a little bit?
I'll do it briefly. This was discussed at the budget work session, and so in order to formalize allowing retirees to be able to participate in the town's health insurance plan, currently the town reimburses retirees up to the premium that the town pays for a full-time employee. So what we're going to allow the retiree to do, what this will do is allow the retiree to come onto the town to stay on the town's plan, and it eliminates a lot of the reimbursement work and the work that we have to do in finance in order to reimburse our retirees currently for their premium. Everything stays the same as far as the cost to the town. There is no additional cost to allow them to participate in the Cigna network that we're currently on. The item that you have before you tonight basically adds the retiree health insurance benefit to the personnel policy handbook that shows that they're able to stay on the town's plan. Also spells out if they were able to get off the town's insurance plan that they would not be allowed to come back on unless they had a qualifying condition. It also states if they receive employment that offers health insurance outside of the town that they could go on that insurance and then they could come back onto the town's insurance as well. And then also this policy addresses allowing the retiree spouse, if they so choose, to also be put on the town's plan. However, they would have to pay the full premium of the spouse to come onto the town's plan. They'll pay exactly what the town is paying for spousal coverage. So really there is no additional expense to the town. This is just opening up the town's current provider that will allow them to participate in the town's insurance plan. So this formalizes the policy that you have before you. That's the draft Article 5 under employee benefits of the personnel policy handbook. They did, to follow up on Councilmember Garris's question, we did look into adding dependents, but they were still having to get back with us on that. They couldn't guarantee us anything on that, so we just wanted to bring tonight before you the retiree and the spousal coverage, allowing them to participate in our plan. With that being said, that's pretty much the revision presented before the council this evening.
Andy, at that workshop, I had been asked if I had ever heard discussion of putting spouses on the health plan, and I said I had never heard that discussion since I've been here. I guess the reason was it was already there. Did it get dropped when we went to the Cigna health plan? Is that what happened?
I believe that got dropped. That was prior to me coming on board, but my understanding is that got dropped whenever we somehow stopped allowing, I think for whatever reason, the retirees to participate in our plan, and we started going to the reimbursement for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
I mean,
it probably it didn't get discussed in the way that I would have made the association, I guess.
It was there at one point, it was there, you're exactly right.
I mean, to the insurance company, it's basically if they go out and shop their own insurance now, we're just providing them our plan to get on if they can't
Sure.
find something cheaper on the outside, so.
It just bothered me that, I had said that I had never discussed it, and then I realized that it was on the plan. I guess that's the reason. So anyway, I don't have a problem with it personally, so do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the revision to Article 10, Section 3, retiree spouse coverage of the town personnel policy.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Okay.
But that was a lot of work for a lot of you, Andy, and I appreciate the hard work on this.
Thank you. I'll pass it along.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next we have reports, general comments from town manager. Anything?
I do have one thing. I'd like to recognize, and maybe once this is over, Vicki Thompson. She is a resident of the town of Kitty Hawk. She has a business called C&M Home Staging and Cottage Care, and not that I'm giving her a plug, but during the COVID-19 pandemic, she dropped off 60 masks for our police and fire and our town administration. So it's really not hand-sewn masks, and so we appreciate her for that. And I just wanted to let you all know that we have some really good residents that care a whole lot about us here at Town Hall, and we appreciated that. So maybe when things die down, we'll have her at a meeting. So.
Good.
That's great.
Thank you. Very good. Mr. Attorney?
That's for me here.
Okay. Council, let's start over it this way.
I really don't have anything.
Okay? Okay?
We've been through some trying times in this time. We all have, and we're still going through some as we speak. But I'd just like to thank all the department heads for everything you've done, everything you'll continue to do. Who knows when this nightmare will be over, but let's hope it's not long. But I just want to say thank you to everybody.
Without being redundant and saying the same thing as Craig, I have nothing else, thank you.
I echo the same. I appreciate the staff and of course police and fire. I mean, it's got to be unique for them trying to control all the stuff happening now that the bridges are open back up from a distance
Yeah.
as best possible.
And fire and police are on duty right now, putting out
Absolutely.
a fire, so that's what it's all about. All right. Public comment. Is there anybody on the phone that wants to talk? This is your last chance at this meeting. No comment? Let the record show, please. All right. Now I'm going to make a motion to go into closed session. It's concerning North Carolina General Statute 143.318.11, Parent A, Parent 3, to consult with the town attorney regarding Joseph E. and Linda C. Blackburn and all similarly situated individuals versus Dare County, towns of Duck, Kitty Hawk, Nags Head, Kill Devil Hills, Manteo, and Southern Shores. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We're now in closed session. If we could empty the room, please.